This is all above board.
Someone's asked on Reddit.
That's
You
where
can
we get the
trust
real
Reddit.
answers.
No
Yeah.
comment.
No comment.
No one knows.
No one knows.
That was 2 years ago.
How many people in the world do you think have had that thought? Maybe
Okay,
you and
maybe
this guy on
4,
Reddit.
yeah.
No, so pink lady. Ooh.
Yeah.
Pink lady apples. The first pink lady was what's the word? Cultivated? Is that
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Grown?
bread? They were first
In
bred in 1973. Cross between
Where did Greece come out?
the Golden Delicious and the Lady Williams, thus creating the Pink Lady.
So there was no way that they were named actually after the Pink Ladies.
No, it's like a portmanteau by the
Either.
sounds of things.
Pink Lady. When did Greece come out?
When did Greece?
Yes.
Do you think the Pink Lady?
What about
might
Granny
have been
Smith
pink?
The Greece came out 5 years after the Pink
It
Lady.
was Apple.
It was
Boo.
Apple. What came
Disappointing.
first? We're here
Granny
now.
Smith.
Or Granny Smith.
I'm intrigued as to where they all came from now.
Yeah.
Can you get a
A lot
timeline
of
of
them must be
apples,
surnames.
We're recording for 15 minutes now, gang.
This is going to be like a 15-minute, just a side episode that we're going to chuck on YouTube at some point. Like Apple chat.
Let's get so many views.
What do you think came first? The color orange or the fruit orange?
This feels like bullshit
I've heard
fact that
this.
you got.
I found this out over Christmas.
Is it like?
Is it shocking? E.g., it was the fruit.
I know.
I feel like it's got to be shocking, otherwise it's a really stupid.
Yeah, because you said I found this out over Christmas as if it was some shocking revelation that you'd found.
I
reckon it's
just
like-
didn't know it before.
Is it like a different word from a different country, and then it came over here and they were like, "This is an orange." We were like, "Okay, we'll call that the fruit and the color."
I think the fruit came first.
I want to say fruit because it'd be weird if it wasn't fruit.
But it's a whole colour.
Oh, color. What I would say
Wait,
is
so
orange.
To me, like a colour
It's
is
the
like...
name of a colour, though.
Yeah, exactly. How can so many people in the world have seen the name of this colour before and not given it a name? Like,
I mean,
why is it
might
not
have
called
been
something else? Yeah,
It must have been another.
well, exactly.
But
But
it's
you
another
can't
thing,
have
it's
not
like
seen the colour orange.
In Spanish, naranja is orange and orange. It's
Which
like-
is from Arabic. So
Oh, yeah, alright. Oranges are Arabic and the fruit came first.
So, the answer is the fruit came first.
What? That's crazy.
The word came into English from pomme d'orange in French. and naranja. So it's no. So
So
they
the
saw
original colour was called naranja.
no, the original the color
Naranja.
didn't exist. Well, it did exist because it was on the orange, but they the color wasn't called orange. Do you know what
it's
I
hard
mean?
to think like what before.
It wasn't called. It wasn't. It was just. It was like
no word for it.
a dark red or whatever.
I
Like
don't
a
want to say this out loud in case it's stupid. But okay, fine. Is there any? But there must be something else that's the colour orange, that isn't the fruit.
The sun. At point.
But look,
yeah, but they wouldn't call that. It wasn't called an orange.
They'd be like, oh, it's not.
No, they'd call it
oranges
Yeah,
naranja.
we read.
weren't in the UK.
Facts.
right before like.
So we're
Spitting
talking in
facts, well.
English.
So
The first.
Not
there was,
like...
and, and probably if you think there's probably nothing that was orange before that. Like carrots were purple,
Yeah.
They were.
and I mean clothing would have been dyed only through
What they had.
probably reds and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Imagine seeing orange for the first time. What a day.
Oh man.
Big day.
It was in 1502. That's when the
Wow.
first recorded use of the colour. Right, let's start this fucking podcast.
William of Orange though. William of Orange.
He would be our.
Where
that-
would orange
Granny
come
Smith.
from? Did they just
17
pronounce
yeah,
naranja
19,
wrong?
Yeah,
17.
I think he's later.
Yeah, he was.
I'm trying
What's
to.
the Dutch? What are the Dutch colour before orange?
Not that much later. 1650.
Yeah.
Anyway,
For oranges.
right.
I've
Let's,
literally forgotten everything I was going to say.
yeah, good. Yeah, maybe there's going to be no useful content from this day. Barney's full of protein. He's
So
about to
protein.
shit himself.
I'm massive.
Absolutely stacked.
Don't expect to get so built.
Gonna go into Hulk mode.
Welcome back to another episode of the Vinyl Wrestling Post podcast. My name is Barney.
My name is Dapo, and today we're actually joined by two people, which is not a thing that happens often.
No, very rarely.
Hello.
Hello. It's two people that have both been on the podcast before.
Oh.
Two friends of the pod, as we like to call them. We need to think of a name for you, but I can't The only thing that's come up as a collective, as people who are
Right.
regular co-hosts, but the only thing that has ever run
Plural
through my
noun.
mind, like a collective.
Guests?
Final.
Yeah, but they're not guests anymore. If they're coming on a regular
Family.
basis.
We're not.
Family.
We're not like VRPs.
VRPs.
Like the VIPs, but of VRP.
That's
Oh,
not bad. That's not
that's
bad.
good as well.
Yeah,
That works well.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Okay, all right. But the newest VRPs are Hannah Lockett and Kingsley Jones.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for
very
coming
much for
back.
having
Yeah, we're excited to have you. We are doing something different today. Probably an opportunity to explain to people what's coming this season a little bit. Like we are making some changes, not like holistically, but we just want to provide different content. Do something a little bit more varied, a little bit more exciting. So we're going to do more debates and wider topics. The working title of this segment is the final word, where we will come to a kind of final conclusion, and we can give our opinions on certain matters.
Oh, I get it.
Are you
The
vinyl?
vinyl.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
It's all coming together.
There's a lot of them, so brace yourself, because there'll be a lot of vinyl puns
God.
over the next few records. So, but
Can't wait.
yeah, I bet. Barney, what we jumping into today?
So today, to kick off a new, more varied and diverse schedule, we're talking about our ones to watch for 2024. Music keeps getting bigger and wider and more eclectic, and there's so many different voices that we haven't talked about who deserve shouting out, that you guys can, listening at home, get your ears into and discover for yourselves. So we're going to talk 4 great minds in this room across the breadth of all music.
Yeah, I think we're covering good ground. Don't you think? So context, everyone. We have like a long list. Someone forgot to put theirs on, but we won't talk about that. We have.
Are you atting me or were you atting yourself?
Do you know what? I was actually at myself, but then I also realised I could have been at Barney, because he said it in late.
I did, yeah.
The only person who did his correctly was Kingsley.
Nice work.
But it's a super varied list of artists, and it's quite exciting, where we're weaving into different areas of the music sphere. Who wants to kick off? Who's got a burning passion to talk about?
I'd love to start.
Come
I
on,
do.
yeah. I looked him dead in the eye as well.
Very brave volunteer.
Now, this artist, she's produced 2 albums and released 2 albums in the last 2 or 3 years, which means that she's maybe not one to watch, but she's still, I feel, not reaped the praise that she needs to. It's only really last Christmas, kind of end of the year, that she was featured on more mainstream channels, and I think was on Graham Norton or something like that. So the artist is CMAT, which is an abbreviation of her name. It's
I found that out like 2 days ago.
I didn't know that till now.
Did you not?
No.
Ah, you said you were a real fan.
I am a real fan. I enjoy her very much. I don't know her
Don't
name.
call him out.
That's crazy.
So early on.
Not a stalker. What do you want?
No, it says it on like our Wikipedia.
It is on Wikipedia, to be fair. But I feel like 2024 is her year for getting big now. Like,
Yeah.
her tour is ongoing throughout Europe, and I feel like she's got a big summer of festivals ahead of her as well. But the first album in 2022 was excellent, and the second album, to have released it immediately after 2023, was also brilliant. So I saw her live in Manchester in November. And she said it was one of her favourite gigs. Maybe she knows I know all of them. But it was excellent. She got the
She
whole...
also said that at the
I
Shepherd's
believe
Bush.
She
it.
may well. But she got us all dancing.
Yeah.
And she actually lived in Manchester for a while, although I think it was a rough part of her life. But I think we kind of redeemed it. I hope so anyway. But so underrated, and incredible vocals. I could talk about her for hours and hours. But to start off, I feel that's a good start for this conversation, because I think we all...
Yeah. You're spot on. So Crazy Mad for me was our 4th best album of 2023.
I think so. Yeah.
So we're big fans, and I only got into CMAT because of you.
Oh,
Because we went for dinner and we were just chatting music.
You told this.
And
story.
Kingsley was like, "You're gonna like this song called Vince." We were talking about female artists, and you think you just recently been to CMAT,
yeah.
and you were like, "Start with Vince Company, listen to the second album, listen to the first album, listen to both.
Yeah.
You'll like it for sure." Got there and I was like, "Yeah, fucking love this."
Yeah.
Came in and I was like, "Barney, oh yeah, I really love this album." He was like, "Yeah, I saw her this summer, bro. Like, what are you talking about? CMAT's been around for ages."
No way.
It's
You were there,
absolutely-
you were
he
there,
was there.
weren't
He was the trendsetter.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm so rarely above the curve, but
Mm.
like, yeah, I've been listening to CMAT for 2 and a bit years or so. I
Mm.
kind of found I Want to Be a Cowboy Baby by Complete Accident, which is like a banger.
Yeah.
So for those of you listening who aren't that initiated with CMAT, she's like a country pop, funk, like hyper pop, glam pop fusion, and
Well described.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's
Very-
hard to, but yeah,
unabashedly herself, very like a champion of fun music.
for sure.
But also with like really relatable, funny lyrics, singing about Tesco, about the Gilmore Girls, about Vincent Company,
About Vincent, yeah.
about the director Peter Bogdanovich. There's a ballad directed towards him, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, really catchy, really fun, really creatively talented woman.
I had not listened to her until you sent this list,
Okay.
and I was really impressed.
What are
Actually-
your thoughts as fresh ears? Like, how do you?
I honestly listening, I was like, as soon as I listened to the first song, I was like, yeah, like, you know when some people you kind of ease into, and some people like, okay, yeah, and yeah, like listening to the first song, I was instantly like, who's this person? Was like researching her up and being like, whoa.
I feel like the vocals make you stand up and take
Yeah.
notice a little bit. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like you say, ease into, sit back, and let it wash over. It's like slaps you in the face.
She doesn't whisper out her lyrics.
No,
she's
for sure.
belted.
Yeah, she does be belted, and we do be trying to imitate it in the shower.
We do.
California is my housemates must be sick of it because
Yeah,
okay.
I screech that song
Yeah.
at all times of the day. I think it's interesting that she's moving across into the mainstream channels, because I think she was nominated for. She was on the long list for Sounds of 2024.
Yeah.
BBC. I have we'll put up in the. I have a bugbear about BBC Sounds of 2024, and
Okay.
we will discuss this on this
Okay.
episode.
Interesting.
But it's interesting that the sound that I would say is still fairly unique, or a bit far removed from what we would call like mainstream pop or like classic pop, is actually something that is coming to the fore more and more now. Like this is the start of this style of glam, country rock pop, whatever we want to call it, is it's going to be here to stay a little bit more. That's going to be the next wave of global pop stars. Is going to be not necessarily the commercial pop that we're used to. It's something with a little bit more edge to it. We spoke about, I think, a couple of your choices, Barnes.
Yeah,
Chapel Roan.
she's someone I want to talk about with this as well.
Yeah, and
Very much in the country stream.
yeah, and these artists have started to grow quite a big foundation.
Yeah.
Um,
People are excited for something a bit more just different.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. And it's good.
I've noticed that like with people like that, there's like a huge cult following. It's
Yeah.
not just like, oh, loads of people have started to notice. It's like people are culty.
Yeah,
About it.
it's obsession.
Yeah.
It does
In a really nice way.
in a great way. And I feel like with these artists, they kind of push the boundaries of their personalities and their like stage personas and stuff like that. So there's more for you to buy into.
There's
Speaking of like artists that you suggested, the last dinner party. And again, speaking of BBC Sounds of 2024, the last dinner party, I think their whole vibe, energy, look appeals to people. Like it's something that you can, as a fan, mark on yourself. Not mark on yourself, but you can like show outwardly, this is me supporting them. Like I want to dress like them. I want to carry myself in a similar way, and the music portrays that. Like it gives you that space to be a little bit out there, a little bit different. They're a little bit kooky. When we did our albums of 2023, and we were speaking about CMAT, one of the things that one of the things that I felt, or one of the comps that I made, was to Hiatus Coyote. And like the
Incredible.
yeah, it's that sort of unapologetic nature of them. They just do whatever they do whatever they want on stage. They can be whatever they want to be. I mean, Napalm came out in like a huge cat's head at Brixton Academy, but everyone is a bit inspired by that. Like, it's a sense of community that we're all a bit different together.
And they were hitting notes that I'd never heard before. Like, incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So good. Like, I was in awe when we were listening to them. Like, amazing live. Dapo was so excited for the gig that he got there like an hour early.
Oh.
I like turned up. I was like, "How long have you been here?"
not even front row, because I was too nervous. Like, I'm not very good at being at gigs by myself. Like,
you were trying to get good.
Yeah, but I've
good.
kind of given up on that. I just don't think I enjoy it. Like, I want to be in a social setting. Like, I want to be with my mates.
Yeah.
But I just find that I'm too awkward in the times in between music. So when the music's playing, I'm fine. Like, I'm locked in, singing the words to myself. But as soon as they're like chatting for a little bit, I'm just looking for someone to speak to.
Opinions on solo gigging?
I struggle with it personally.
Same.
It's hard. My name's
hard.
Barney. I'm,
Yeah, it's difficult. I've done it
recovering
once,
solo
maybe,
gigger.
once or twice.
Who did you see?
This is when I was actually in Edinburgh, and I went over to Glasgow for the Caption the Bottlemen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I was really big into them at the time, but they just, I don't know, they kind of lost interest a little bit since. But it was like touring their second album, and I couldn't really find anyone to go with, so I just went, and it was a good crowd because Glasgow gigs are great.
Yeah.
They're always good. I've had like 3 or 4 now, so it was still a great. It was also in by the I can't remember the name of the venue, but huge venue. And I think they just actually released a song on their second album called Glasgow, which made it even better. I think that's probably why I ended up going to the gig in Glasgow rather than in Edinburgh, or if it was there.
For that song?
Well, it wasn't far away. It's only an hour on a train to Glasgow from Edinburgh, so it made sense to me, and I think I got the train back straight after. But it was a difficult one. I didn't really hang out with anyone. You just turn up and go home, really, But
did you make an effort to like try and chat to people? Like, did you like?
I think because everyone's in groups.
Yeah, it's hard.
I think I didn't really push myself to go and just. I don't want to be that guy as well. It just ends up like interrupting a conversation.
Yeah,
like, who is this guy?
And you hang along for like a little bit longer than you're invited to stay.
It depends on the crowd. You got to be maybe attacking the right angle, but I didn't bother. But has anyone else?
Are you a solo gigger?
Yeah.
I've never been to a gig solo.
That's because I buy all the fucking tickets.
Yeah, I'm not organised enough to like look for artists that I want to see up front. It's just like definitely sending me like, "Do you want to go to this?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. I really do."
I have a habit of just I will always buy 2 tickets to a show, regardless of whether anyone said they want to go, because I always assume someone eventually will want to go. And normally
Thank
Hannah,
God you have me.
yeah, because Hannah always says yeah. I'm like, yeah, so I bought this thing that it's in 2 days. Do you want to come? She's like, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm free, but
To be fair, most of the time it is people that I know. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like
I
I'm
try-
just like
I try and gauge it.
saying yes.
Yeah, I try and gauge it depending on who the person is and whether they would like it.
What are
or
you
not.
saying? Do you have another buddy?
I have many buddies.
Scandal.
Jesus.
I would like to try it. I'd like to try solo gigging.
Would you?
Yeah. But is that thing where like people aren't friendly in London?
Yeah.
maybe you have to go to make a like trip of it, like go somewhere else, go abroad, go Glasgow,
Yeah.
do it, and then
Abroad.
The sunny destination.
yeah. But at least you're not there. People are a little bit friendlier. You're just taken in a different place anyway.
I feel like there's no perks to it personally, and unless it's like either I go on my own or I don't go. There is no perks to me being there on my own compared to me going with a friend or a family member or a partner or anything like that.
To be fair, I say I'd like to try it. I think I'd like to, if I wanted to go to a gig and no one else wanted to go, if I was really that into it, I would go by myself just to see it live. Because like, when would you get that opportunity again?
Exactly.
But having said that, I've never done it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the thing. Is
Yeah.
you say it, it's easier said than done. Because I think I would get to the point of buying the ticket and be like, I don't know. I actually want to go. But
Yeah, I know. It'll be the night, and I would bail probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well.
Oh well. Han, what's your first pick to the table?
Oh, I've got a few, but one of them is a woman called Bex, not Bax, by the way, because I think there's been some confusion before where she's been called Bax. She tweeted that it was a pet hate of hers, so it's Bex.
Wow.
And she is multiple things all at once, and I think that's why she's so impressive. So she's a grime MC. She's also she like runs these nights with Victory Lab, which is like a radio that runs through the Bellamy studios, like the station. And
that's the one that Dave and Central C did, yes?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. And yeah, she's just got like, she wears many hats. And she was first discovered, sort of not discovered, but she first got big, I think, when she released a freestyle. And she actually says that she's inspired a lot by Skepta. And Skepta tweeted about her freestyle, so I think that was quite a big moment.
Full circle.
So yeah, that was good. And then she has released 2 mixtapes since, which are really, really good. I would encourage a listen. And also some singles as well. Her lyrical content is really, really good, so listen to the lyrics. And then she's also now released 2 singles, which is why I think she's gonna pop off.
Album.
Yeah, because she's kind of also moved from rap to more like dancey music, so that's where she's kind of going with her style. Is like a lot more of like a house beat and then slightly less words, but it's so catchy. It's like, I just really enjoy seeing females like rising in this space. So that's also why I wanted to pick her as well, so shout out Bex.
Is she French?
Yeah.
Because that song Check, right? There's
Yeah.
like an awful lot of French in it.
Maybe,
But
I
I think
actually haven't explored that.
I think she's from Luton, but
yeah, she is. She's from Luton. She is.
I think she's really cold. I think there is to buttress your point, there is a big space at the moment for rap, not on rap beats, like not classic hip hop beats, not grime beats, or if it's a grime beat, it's like the lo-fi hip hop, like the lo-fi beats. Like the Victory Lap is a great example of it. Like that's blowing up around the world because it's Dave and Central C.
Yeah, it got
a normal
huge in
flow
2023.
over a completely like out of their ordinary beat. There's a guy called Bliss as well who does like lo-fi grime, and it's sick. And I think that space is fairly untapped at the moment. So the room for people like Bex is like super clear. Like the route is there. She just needs to take it. And I didn't really know masses about her as a recording artist before, but all the tunes that I've listened to are cold. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really.
And there's like a video that she tweeted maybe, where she's like, they're at this like night and they're all freestyling, I think, and she kind of just takes over the mic and everyone just goes mental. And she's like surrounded by just like these massive guys doing it, and she just takes over and everyone goes mad. So it's quite cool.
That's your ideal image. A female rapper absolutely shelling it.
Yeah.
And that is that. So context. Han, when she came on the podcast last, her episode was sometimes I might be an introvert. And is one of the biggest Little Sims fans that I know, but it's very the female empowerment element is it runs strong in Hannah Lockett. She was one of the fans that came. She came in suit and ties to Ali Pali. She was kitted out for the show.
I mean, I'm surprised that you weren't.
I don't have
disappointed.
I honestly I've not worn a white shirt and I don't own a white shirt at the moment. Like I just don't.
You ruffian.
You work
Scallywag.
Yeah, I'm a famous podcaster. Shut up. I'm cool and creative. I've never had to be smart for work for like 2 years, 3 years. So
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
been allowed to
own.
be smart for work.
Yeah, I don't own a white shirt. I have a tie somewhere, but I can't remember the last time
I did borrow my whole get up.
Yeah, you
They
did too.
weren't
But
mine.
you were darting around London, stealing people's ties and shirts.
It's commitment.
As a Sim side note, how did you feel about No Thank You compared to Sometimes I Might Be Introvert?
I smashed them both. Like literally, just like we. I think before we went to that concert, in particular, I listened to like the whole way through, and I think it was pretty amazing. I think I don't know, it's really hard to say. I think they're both equally like incredible pieces of art. But I think I was more kind of like, I think I was more like fan favourite of the first, purely because like I'd never heard that before.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed by it, and it was so new and so novel. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then she's just obviously gone to like impress again, but this time it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You're just like, oh, classic. Like, here she goes
Old
again.
Sims. Back on her stuff.
Yeah. And the concert was honestly like, we did not deserve that level of just like talent.
The Ali Pali
Yeah,
Yeah.
like she did everything. It wasn't just her new album, it was like every single banger possible.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
She just like, she did them all.
I just had like really cool stage long screen behind her. with
Yeah,
silhouette
the
light.
visuals
It
were
was- yeah,
amazing.
That's banging.
It was nutty.
The whole production as like a performance, as you'd expect from her. Like it's not just about the music and like the lyrics, it's like the whole performance piece of it. She can do so much. She even came on with her own guitar at one point, did it
That's badass.
herself. Yeah.
She's kind of always she's always known that she's sick, because I remember I saw her when she after the grey area experience, and she stepped out onto the stage with a bullhorn, and she did the first verse of Boss with a bullhorn, and I lost
amazing.
my shit. So cold. Just to piggyback off your piggyback,
Please.
you mentioned
3 man.
yeah. Hannah's got strong shoulders, carrying us all. You mentioned him. It's not necessarily what we are doing for the episode, but I think it's worth mentioning. Skepta's going to have a fucking massive year. Album's coming out. He's got his own festival in Crystal Palace Park. Like, it is just going to be. I think
Huge.
it's going to be. He drops an album. Everyone loses their minds. He makes a shit ton of money and then goes back to being an artist and whatever he decides he's doing.
The dream.
Decides he's doing this year. But yeah, I think Bex is a really good shout for 2024. I think it's interesting.
Thank you.
The slightly different angle that she comes from as well. Like, she's not necessarily just artist, she's also a facilitator as well. Like, she is likely to become a person that you hear about more just from
I can imagine her just doing like bits across the
presenting
whole
or-
industry. Yeah.
You'll see her on TikTok or whatever, blah blah blah. Barney, do you want to go or shall I go?
You go. You haven't had one of your own yet.
It's because I can't remember any of mine.
We both talked about Jordan.
Yeah. Jordan McCampo is a really. I think he's what I think he's. I love a hyperbole, right? I really do love a hyperbole.
How much of hyperbole?
But he's just one of the best male vocalists from the UK. Like he's so talented. I was listening to Mary, which is a song that he dropped end of last year, and again, a similar way to Bex, I think it's going to be a precursor to an album. He's already said that he's going to be releasing a new project this year, but the passion, the soul, it's like, the only way I can describe it, he's got a really full body voice. And in the same way as like a Gregory Porter or like a Jacob Banks, like you can really, really feel every single note. And he writes some damn good love songs as well, like really like eloquently and passionately put. And I think he he deserves flowers.
Yeah,
He's made his first album, Foreigner, great piece of music, unbelievable highs of the song. I think the titular song, Foreigner, is a standout for me, but I feel as though he's kind of got into his bag a little bit. He's done a few features as well. Like he featured on Private Dinners with Che Lingo. He's dropped some different styles that we haven't heard from him before. I just think the capacity for him is through the roof.
Yeah,
through the roof.
I agree. I think he's a bit SIPO in that way. I think he has that, like the lung capacity.
Yeah,
to kind of just wow.
Pipes,
man.
He's got pipes,
and the lyricism is there as well. He has all the building pieces. I think it's just the time element.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's actually a discussion to be had here with Jordan, and it links into a couple of the artists that you suggested, Kingo, particularly Jalen Ngonda.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Sorry.
Can we? I would say I don't
Was
want
that your pick?
Yeah.
I don't want
Incredible.
to. That might have been the pick of the episode. That was the
hope so.
best find.
Wow.
I
I was listening to this and then he came on and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
this is really
How did you
lovely.
come across him, Kingo?
I came across it, and I think it's in a theme of what I've been listening to generally over the last year of like some soul artists who are all over London and are, I think, coming into prominence. I think there's also another one that I've mentioned on there is Nee Maxine.
So we
incredible.
saw Nee Maxine.
Well, I was very.
Were you there?
No.
Oh, because I thought. Yeah, I thought it was Madame Jazz. Shout out Madame Jazz and everything they're doing. Ellen Knight does an incredible job of that. But I thought I would have been certain that you were.
I wish I was. Maybe I saw it afterwards and I thought I was there.
Yeah. You've been to a Madame Jazz with us, though, no?
I have, yeah.
But it
was it?
Yeah, I think it might have been that
Could have been
one
that same
on my birthday.
Yeah.
But I can't remember which one she was at.
Maybe it was.
I think she was there, you know.
Wow.
But the argument that I was going to put to the table, is there a space for this sort of soul? Because like,
I hope so.
So like Jordan Ngonda reminds me of the stuff that I used to listen to in like the parents' car. Like it takes me back to like being a kid, like closing my eyes in the car and tracing my way back home. The soundtrack to that is soul music. That sound like Marvin Gaye, The Temptations, like classic Motown. That is what my parents listened to. And this is a guy in 2023 or 2024 who sounds exactly like that. And I love it because I have the affinity to it and I think it's beautiful music and he's super, super talented guy. But is there the appreciation for it in the same way that there is for maybe like the cooler, newer neo soul, like the maybe more sultry?
I feel like based on purely our reaction to that name coming out, it kind of shows that there must be.
Yeah.
There is, maybe by virtue of it being quite a small genre currently, that creates a bigger vacuum for him to fill. Maybe that means there's more public want for that kind of thing. And names you're listing, like The Temptations, like Marvin Gaye, if we can put him among those names and see how big those were, I see no reason that he couldn't fulfill that gap. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'm not convinced either way personally. Like I know what I like, and I'm obsessed. It Takes a Fool is an amazing song. Rapture is crazy, and he just is able to do quite a lot within that soul space. Some of them are a little bit more upbeat. Some of them are almost stripped back to almost being like a ballad. It's not that I don't think he is talented enough for it, but I find it harder to see the next steps of growth and trajectory into a bigger space. And Nee Maxine is the same because she really like sticks to kind of almost old school jazz roots, and then it's super heavy in her influence from more traditional jazz stylings. I don't know how, I always feel like there's maybe a cap, and then to break through to the wider audience you always have to deviate from that a little bit.
Could you not say that like being like nostalgic and having all those influences and that's appealing to a broader audience. Like that's like
Yeah.
rather than being like the breakthrough new thing that people might be kind of find controversial.
Yeah, no, I think
They're doing the classic, like this is what people loved and still love.
I like it. I think we see resurgence in the even in the pop cycle. We're having a huge disco moment right now,
Yeah.
and that's a full return. So why can't we do it more concretely with? I don't know, what would you call soul? Is it soul?
Yeah, I would say it's soul.
Soul, yeah,
R&B.
R&B.
Yeah. To its maybe truest form of
Rhythm and blues.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think there is, and I maybe just being devil's advocate for the sake of it, because I think realistically, you look at the likes of Yusuf Days or Alpha Mist or whatever, like they are very rooted in their traditional jazz. Like it's reminiscent of the artists that they were influenced by, right? And they're doing amazing things, and they're growing that space. So it's crazy the people that they work with now on such a regular basis, and how much commercial success they get. So
I think that's super interesting as well, at that point. Like I was going to bring them up as having had lots of success, but even still to watch for 2024, like I think Yusuf Days and Alpha Mist and Venna, and
Venna's a big shout.
like
Yeah,
they've blown up already, but still have not far to go, but like I think they've got so much more to give, and like there's so much space opening now, which is so nice for like the main focus being on the instrumental artist and not the voice. And it's so nice to see that like people are kind of like becoming mega famous in their own right for being the master of an instrument that's not just the voice.
Agreed.
So I'm really like excited for that.
it is.
Really.
It's a good time to be an instrumentalist. We've said it before.
We say it a lot, yeah.
We've said it before on the pod. It is a good time to be an instrumentalist. It's cool again. It is cool again, and it should be. I think it's less about the commercial side. It's about making good music, and that has now become the commercial side. You make something that is good, people are going to appreciate it, and they will go out of their way to kind of champion those things that stand up. And I mean, like you say, our reaction to Jalen Ngonda, like,
I'm looking forward to the festivals as well.
yeah,
I hope he features on that, because I mean I went to Glastonbury, just drop it in there. But
absolute snake. No one.
sorry if you didn't. But there are a number of artists that I would probably wouldn't go and see live straight away.
Yeah, of course.
Naturally, and so some of those artists that I've put on there, like Jalen Ngonda, a few others, like you go up to them anyway. I think because of the vibe element. I feel there's a lot of music which nowadays is quite angry and in your face. A lot of artists on the list.
Yeah.
And this way, these kind of artists go against the grain a little bit, and you find a nice happy place. Love songs that are smooth, easy listening in many ways. So, I think I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing how well they do on those stages.
Yeah.
That's another big thing. You don't really consider how big an artist is until they've had an amazing live set, and then they're on fire.
Yeah.
So who knows? We might be completely wrong. Like, these might age terribly.
Yeah.
But,
Barney's great at making terrible.
So obsessingly true.
No, it was only the one. It was he said that Hosier's latest album was going to be the best album of 2023.
I did not enjoy that. I went to a Hosier gig in December, and before Hosier came out, the Last Dinner Party came out, as is often the way with opening acts.
Yeah,
they came out before the main one, and I really enjoyed them. I never heard of them before. I'm a huge fan. We talked about this quite a lot, Dapo and I, of female rock. In particular, so like even going up to the big names like your Miley Cyrus's and that kind of thing, I like a heavy gritty lady. You're my girlfriend, you know.
Your turns of phrases are great.
Terrible, awful.
We were talking. What was it? Was it Big Woman Rock Year?
No, it was Big Woman Year.
He was talking about the amount of good female artists releasing great music over the past year. He was like, it was a great woman female rock glam year. I was like, make it funny.
Just words.
Just throw words
Yeah.
until they sound right.
I'll stop talking eventually. And they were. We talked about it a little bit before in terms of music is increasingly becoming, going back almost to that punk kind of phase where it's an identity as well as a sound. And the Last Dinner Party are very much like modern feminist kind of reclaimed sexuality, pagany vibes. So we're talking a lot of like.
I know exactly what you mean, though.
Kingsley's there just
He's
nodding
on my
like,
wavelength.
he's like, yeah.
It's like the way,
Hannah's
like-
just glazed.
We're talking like the white linen dresses, the corsets, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
paired with the massive electric guitar.
Yeah.
And the screaming at the audience. And it's just amazing. It was a real.
Very wet leg in that.
Very wet
regard.
leg, very wet leg, yeah. A real spectacle show. And
Nice.
but they were like doing songs in Eastern European language, that kind of thing. There was quite a lot of Nordic influence as well, which is something you don't hear a lot. Like Nordic death metal is a huge part of that subgenre.
Oh, wow.
But
Casey's like, oh, just talking my language. Just talking my
This
language.
is what you came back for. This is
I think
it.
the Finns love their death metal.
they really do. Yeah. Like
Finnish
the
folk.
and I think they're really sorry, Dapo. And I think they're
Right,
really,
I'll just keep quiet.
I think the Last Dinner Party are really making a new space for that. They're young. I think they're full of ambition. They're full of grit and enthusiasm for what they're doing, and I think they can go very far.
Did you know them before or after they won Sound of 2024?
I knew them before,
Okay.
and I'd like that to be known. I met them at the Hosier gig, and then about a week later they won Sound of 2024. So I'm just about above the curve.
Fairs. I want to have my rant now about Sound of 2024.
Go ahead, please do. I love your.
What I think
contrarian
is here we go again. What I find egregious, mate, is for
Ooh.
third place. Have you seen the?
I've not known.
No,
I've not
so
seen the list.
It was the top 5 were. I'll get it up. Let me.
Last Dinner Party was first.
Last Dinner Party was first. Then you had Tyler was 5th, I think. I'm doing it in random orders. I can remember them. Second was Olivia Dean.
Mm-hmm.
4th was potentially CMAT. No, 4th was Tyler. 5th was El Main.
Yeah.
And 3rd was Peggy Goo. And I think that's ridiculous
Go on. Why?
because she's been doing her thing, and has been crushing it for 8 years.
But
And
why
what's
is
the point of the list? Is
But
it
the
about
best
you?
of is like breakout, or it's just like
Well-
they're releasing
You
music.
can be big and then get bigger.
yeah, but then the reason I feel like,
Did they have a reasoning? Like, did you question them?
well, the reasoning is she dropped
The song of the year.
yeah
Right.
na na na
Yeah.
which is a great beat, but then I feel like I almost undermines all the good work she's been doing before. It's like an artist being nominated as best breakthrough when they're 15 years into their career,
Is it best breakthrough?
and then 2, I feel like it's harsher for, obviously she didn't win, but in the past it's artists that are growing in their careers, and then it's a platform to the next step, and you're there starting out and then you're competing with Peggy Goo, who has 4 million Instagram followers and like millions of monthly listeners. I don't think it works out, and I get it's Sound of, and that song is one of the most played songs of the year worldwide, but I don't think. All right, cool. The Sound of sorry, I'm looking at the Wikipedia. It's awarded for the most promising new music talent.
Okay,
That's not
so
Peggy Goo.
no.
That's not Peggy Goo.
She's changed direction recently.
She hasn't though. She hasn't.
Not a dramatic
People just
change.
like it more. That like, I feel like well, I mean, she's probably changed a bit, but I feel like there is a big disparity between the people that she's nominated against and her. It's like, take the people that she was. So CMAT, Kenya Grace, who did that Stranger song that's all over TikTok. Katie Beza, who had like a crazy breakout year. Arya Starr, who's just broken to the Western world. Tyler just broken to the Western world. Olivia Dean just dropped her debut album. Last Dinner Party just dropped their debut album. And then the past winners, Pink Pantheress, breakout. Flo, breakout. Parsaloo, breakout. Ray Black, this is going way back now. Celeste, breakout. Joy Crooks. The whole idea of it, I think, is for people who are growing in their career.
Yeah.
And I think Peggy Goo, one, deserves more. Like,
Yeah.
she's done so much. And just doesn't fit
Yeah, I see what you mean.
what they're going for.
Yeah.
Send them an email, hey.
I will do.
Send
This
them
is
a
this is
bloody
my
email.
this is yeah.
Egregious.
It is. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like it's like
No, I agree with you. I agree.
them turning around and being like, oh yeah, Miley Cyrus is a sound of 2024. It's like, well, we know that everyone really likes her, but then it's just.
So you're saying she's more Mercury kind of area than Sound of?
If the project's good enough, I just think she's at a further stage in her career, like a way bigger stage, and maybe that's just because she's big in my world and I have known her for a long time. But then I think the numbers speak for themselves. She's got astronomical. She's worked with huge artists in the past. Like it felt wrong to me. It felt wrong to me, but I've got it off my chest now. I'm less worked up.
Have they done that before? Have they put big artists in before, or is this literally like? I mean, off of the winners.
The thing is that you could say yes, but I feel like a lot of the artists were big after they've done it. So like the past winners, Run Through, Last of the Party, Flo, Pink Pantheress, Parsaloo, Celeste, Octavian, Sigrid, Ray Black, Jack Garrett, Years and Years, Sam Smith, Haim, Michael Kiwanuka, Jessie J, Ellie Goulding, Little Boots, Adele, da-da-da. But then when we were talking about Adele, she won it in 2008 when she wasn't yet Adele. Michael Kiwanuka won it in 2012. Like, that is... So Sam Smith, 2014, that's probably just after he was working with Disclosure on Latch. That came out in 2013, I think. So, like... Yes, there are superstars, people that we've heard of and are household names, but this was like the launch pad to them being that. Whereas I feel like Peggy Gou, she's probably not through the roof, but she's ahead of that. Ahead of that curve.
Yeah, definitely.
That's fair.
But one of the artists who was actually really, 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 really good on the Sound of 2024 long list is Elmaine.
It was Elmaine.
Yeah.
So this I discovered after this. So the list came out. And I was like, oh, cool, I heard of Last Dinner Party. So I kind of went through the article, listened to everyone on there, and the one that stood out the most to me was Elmaine. And we've talked a bit about him in our texts and stuff. Just kind of saying, props.
Yeah.
Like, he deserves to be there. He's a genuine unknown. And he has this beautiful, treacly, soulful voice.
Word.
He's keeping it real smooth, keeping it real quiet in the nicest way. Like, it's very much like a living room kind of set vibe. He seems like he would play to really small audiences, or I'd like to see him play to a small audience that I would be in.
Yeah.
That's what I would like.
He's got a very inviting voice. Very inviting voice. And I think he is starting to kind of step into the like limelight a little bit more. A lot of his content online is more about his personality and like there's more about him as a person, not just I sing really well, which is amazing. I want to jump into like a little bit of a caveat. I have two more things that I want to cover and then I'll stop boring you all. I think we've all got kind of some dancey artists. We just spoke about Peggy Gou for ages, but there are a few artists that you both put in. So Kingsley, you put in Near Archives, and Han, you put in Wilfred. And I think there are some similarities to be drawn from what their trajectory is. I think Near Archives is on the cusp of breaking through
Massively. Yeah.
She's on the like Fred Again trajectory.
Yeah,
I reckon.
I feel that.
Yeah, they actually did a song together.
I think I've heard this actually.
Yeah, it's gonna absolutely blow up the internet, 100%. Because obviously they're both super talented, but their fan bases are also pretty.
Yeah, you're right. Another big summer, I think, from Near Archives. I feel that's coming.
Yeah.
That's why she's on my list. I feel like
festival sets.
Absolutely, that's somebody I definitely want to keep my eyes on.
Yeah. And I think there's a thing going on at the moment where jungle D&B is becoming again literally feedback. We're back in the 70s again. Like it's the time of sound systems is alive and kicking, and people are really pushing for it. I think Near Archives is pioneering it. I mean, she got nominated for quite a few Mobos as well, which is unheard of for like electronic artists. You could just see it from her sets. She's got it. Like she's unbelievable, and reads an audience so well, as well as the like remixes and like she did the Little Things remix. And I've sold my Georgia Smith stock, unfortunately. I think I'm.
You off the train?
Yeah, I've been off the train for a little while now.
You have, to be fair. I'm surprised by that sort of.
Yeah, but that remix of Little Things is well and truly touching my face.
It's when an artist releases like just wave after wave of good songs, and you know they're on a trajectory, and that's exactly what I feel with her. So, big year.
I would say the same for Barry Can't Swim as well. I feel like he's teetering around that Fred again territory. All he needs is that one big boy in the room, and then things are done. He has, I would say, in my humble opinion, he hasn't released a bad song in like 2 and a bit years, which is fairly impressive.
I feel like Ray spent his time on the sidelines too. Like 2.5 years is a long time. Like his wave is about to crash.
Yeah.
Like, pardon the pun, I guess.
Especially as he can't swim.
Yeah.
Especially as he can't swim. It's tough.
So many people went to go see him at
it was like a church somewhere.
the Hackney Church or something.
Yeah.
And people came back from that going, "Wow, Barry Can't Swim was insane."
It looks like his shows give me like a little bit of like Bonobo-y vibes. You know when you leave.
What Bonobo as in pro? Oh no, I'm not Bonobo. I'm thinking about when we went to see Jamie XX. So
No, Bonobo.
clear the mind.
Like very like euphoric.
Yeah.
And I think people are really big on that at the moment. Airy, light, uplifting melodies over a fairly deep house beat when it drops, and it works really, really well. Also on this dance wave, Wilfred. So I do have a question, because I could be speaking about a completely wrong artist here.
Yeah, that confused me a little bit when you were like,
'Cause
they're the same near archives.
I found a Wilfred that does like refixes of grime tunes.
Wait.
Have I just stumbled onto something completely?
2 Wilfreds on the list.
Oh wait, no. Yeah. What the Wilfred edits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that who it was?
Yes, yeah.
I thought I was.
Because there was another Wilfred that came. Basically, I was just trying to learn more about Wilfred, right? And I was like researching, like having a look everywhere, just kind of be like, who is this guy? And I didn't find much, to be honest. Like he's like honestly
quite elusive.
Well, this is the thing, is that I've been listening to like a lot of kind of like the similar. They kind of all come from like a northern scene of like northern rappers, I think, and I've been listening to different people, and they've all kind of like led on to features with Wilfred, Diley, which I also put in, and Oakland.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them, I mean, Diley has a bit more, but like actually not even, like all 3 of them, I can't find information about, like they're so like anonymous, and yet their songs are like the music that they rap over and that they produce, it's really good listening.
It is.
And Wilfred's released so much music, and it's all like really listenable, really like you can really get into it. And then the same with Diley, like recently released an album like the end of 2023, and before that maybe only had like 1 EP out, but it's kind of like lo-fi rap, but also like the new album that he's produced is more of like more of a house beat, I think, which is more kind of like dancey beaty, upbeat. And then Oakland, literally, like I don't know where this person's come from, but his like album art is really cool, and like his lyrics.
Love album art.
Yeah,
I love album art.
His album art is really cool.
It's really fun,
and like his lyrics are really funny, and he's just kind of. It was just one of those things where like I was just getting in a hole of like listening to a random song of an artist, and then listening to their featured artists, and then listening to their featured artists.
That's
and
a
then
fun hole.
and like just came across them all, and would encourage everyone to listen to all 3 and see what they think. I'm sorry I can't give more, but I also picked them because there wasn't a lot about like, I mean, maybe I'm just missing it, because I know that for them to even get to this point of where they're producing music like that, they've probably done so many bits around locally, like where they are, or like across different scenes where maybe I'm just missing them. But I think that it was impressive. Like, it's really, really impressive music that I think is kind of like, because they're being featured on these different songs and they're within that space, I think they're just kind of like breaking out and putting this music forward, and I think they're going to be really big.
The note that I wrote down is like, this is the pinnacle of SoundCloud music.
Yeah.
It's all a little bit still kind of, it feels homemade almost. It feels like a little bit of a kind of I don't know what the word is. The word that's come to mind is amateur, but that's not the right word. It doesn't feel like super crisp and clean. It's a little bit rough around the edges.
But that's what's almost like, that's the nice thing about it. Like, you kind of, it feels like when I listen to this music, like I feel a lot like, I feel kind of at home. Like you're just listening to. It's very calming.
Yeah. It feels like your mate made a tune and you're like, this slaps.
Exactly.
100%. It's there's a guy called Changing Currents who does a lot of refixes. He worked a bit with Jared in the past, and he's doing really well, like TikTok wise, because he just does these boat parties dotted around continental Europe, and they look sick, to be fair. Real. But the tunes are like, he's super talented, knows exactly what he's doing, but the tunes they're not as crisp as they could be, but it's like intentional.
Yeah, it's like for a reason.
Yeah, it's for a reason.
It's a style.
It's really like endearing. It's a good listen. I was very pleased with those little snippets that you sent in. You mentioned like missing stuff over and things that you've kind of maybe didn't hear enough of, or they must have been bubbling away in their own localities, right? I have this thing that I think I've lost and I've missed out on, should I say, and it's Irish rappers.
I was just about to ask you this.
Irish rappers.
This is
right?
what I mean, is because he was, where was it? Like all of his like music also linked to loads of like Irish playlists.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
It was either Kojaque or Khaki Kid. One of the two.
Oh yeah, that must have been it that we were listening to. Yeah.
It's Kojaque.
Kojaque, right. So
I've not heard a thing about him, but whoever put him on that list was just a great shout.
Yeah.
Like, it's got so many different genres that you could associate with it. It's one of those that just cross over, the lines, if there ever were any. But like, which one of you did that?
Me.
Oh, she.
Yeah.
Honestly, so good.
So good.
What a great pick.
This is his third project. I think it is second album. And his first EP was called Delhi Daydreams. It came out, I think, in 2018, and honestly a completely different style of music. There was a lot of singing, and it was like it was really like morose and kind of depressing in a way, but like really striking piece of music. Second album was decent, not on the same vibe, and then in 2023, arguably the best album name of the year, he released The Phantom of the Afters. It's just such a good album name, and I think it's him.
Got a song about Fat Ronaldo.
He's got a song about Fat Ronaldo.
That's catch my attention straight away.
Mate, it's so good. He's such a clever artist where he just doesn't pin himself down to anything.
Yeah.
The song takes him where he wants to take it. I'm really upset because I only realised that he released the album after I saw that he had done a show in London.
I hate when that happens.
I was like, I would have gone to this hands down, and then I listened to the album and it was so good. But I think he's next in line of kind of. He did a Colours, which was really good. I would recommend people going to watch that. Did that a couple of years back, but he's now like ready to make his statement. And then is it Khaki Kid or Kid Khaki?
It is Khaki Kid.
It's Khaki Kid. It's the other Irish rapper. And I think he's going to blow like TikTok wise. He's got a song called Who's That Girl coming out.
Okay.
And it's just one of those, there's this, it's how they get us. But in TikTok where you sort of hear something once, and then suddenly
Algorithms too.
the algorithm is just spot on, and then
Yeah.
every video you see has them there, and then it spills over to your Instagram reels.
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened with me for him. But it's also a great song, and I have no issues with it. And it's probably my fault for replaying it a couple of times because it's got a good beat, but it is. Really, he strikes me as a viral personality. I feel like he just needs the
There's
right,
good character that he comes
yeah, he just needs the right song, and
Charisma.
then it will carry him through.
What isn't nice to listen to but an Irish accent,
I
Like,
I'm gonna agree. with
I
you.
Beautiful.
agree. I agree.
Beautiful.
But I think it's such a weird thing that we don't see more Irish rappers, or even like Scottish, Welsh as well. Like the lanes and avenues for them to break into the mainstream. I mean, only Irish rapper I can really think of prior to these two was Reggie Snow.
Yeah.
I don't,
I was going to say.
yeah, I don't really have any. And like Scottish rappers, I know a few who I think are really talented, but they're not,
I can name one.
yeah, do you know what I mean? I'll shout him out anyway. There's Suzanne. He's cold. He is a killer. He's unbelievable. And there's a guy called Shogun who's pretty cold as well. But it's just not the scene just isn't there for whatever reason. Like everybody just seems to be capped, but then it sounds so nice in an Irish accent.
Yeah,
like,
I'd listen to it.
It sounds sick.
it comes out as like so many different like unusual sounds come out from. It's probably rooted like in like the Gaelic like language itself, but I mean, I've like someone from Manchester. A lot of those same sounds are replicated because there's a lot of migration from Ireland. So I personally feel even closer to it.
Yeah, I bet.
It's just even nicer to hear like some odd vowels that just come out of nowhere. You're like, hang on, is this guy?
Yeah, and it's
Where's he from?
it's nice not to hear a London accent every day, even though I'm proud Londoner. Sometimes it's nice to have a bit of variety. I reckon that's why Barry Keoghan is just doing bits right now.
Barry Keoghan.
Is it Keoghan?
Is it Kian?
That's Keoghan, isn't it?
I thought it was Keegan.
See, look at us.
I bet Keoghan's just like the London way of saying
facts.
it.
Yeah.
It's
We
actually
never even
so
bothered to
wrong.
look at it. We just sounded it out in our heads.
Keoghan.
Keoghan. It's the accent. That's what's doing it for him, not the talent at all. Just
Yeah, you really downplayed him there.
Yeah, it's just the
Poor
accent.
guy.
Poor Barry.
Basil.
I feel like we've gone through so many artists, and it's almost a little bit of a shame because we could have gone on for hours more and keep rattling through. But what we will be doing is making a little playlist of all the artists that we spoke about today. We'll probably make a couple of different playlists because the vibes they jump off in different directions.
Yeah,
We
be a
need
bit
situational, we
Yeah.
need bus, we need gym, we need work.
Yeah, facts.
The 3
The
bios.
three, those are the only moods that I ever have. Bus, gym, work. That's it. Maybe a prees one as well.
Oh yeah, prees.
Prees counts.
Seeing other people.
Yeah, hyping myself up to be social. But it will give everybody listening an opportunity to actually hear the music, and you can come back to us in the comments and tell us that our taste is shit.
Yeah, feel free.
and let us know how you feel. But it was really, really interesting breaking down these.
There's I've done my research. I've listened to the artists, but there's a lot of people who I'm going to spend a lot more time with.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's.
But anyone we've got to go around and say the artist that they didn't put in that they were most impressed by.
Kojaque straight away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, there were so many. You guys have seen my reactions when you've said names. Honestly, they were all super, super good, I think. Who was the guy that you put in? Jalen
Ngonda.
I want to say CMAT, but we've done so much CMAT chat over the past couple of weeks. C-chat.
That's her podcast.
Yeah, that would be a great name for her. But C-chat is amazing. We should copyright that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get her.
Get her on. No, get some money off her.
Yeah.
I would probably say Yard Act. I would say Yard Act as as a exploratory form. Also, I don't know if this is them, but there was a mashup of one of their tunes with a Skepta verse over it, which is sick.
I feel like I've heard
Yeah.
this.
Oh, is it Skepta? No. Gas. It's Kendrick. It's one, and it's so good. So I say Yardak.
Okay.
What about you?
A lot of things I put in were like cool, funky ladies. So for me, probably Bex was like most in line with what I like, and that was a nice one to like fill in a hole in my playlists.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
That's really sweet. I think we all picked one. That was really. Guys, fucking cut that. That was a really fun one.
That was lovely.
nice
That
to do
was really
something
cool.
different. Yeah. I enjoyed having a new format. If there's topics you want us to breach, things that you want us to talk about, let us know. Because as you can see, we're just winging it. We've got some fluidity in our episodes now. We're breaking away from the normal structures that we've had in the past, and it's fun. It's exciting to have, and hopefully we'll have a lot more of our VRPs knocking around. Hannah Kingsley, thank you so much for coming back on.
Thank you.
I've been Dapo Agiri.
I'm still Barney Howe.
Somehow.
Unfortunately. We'll always be here.
We will always be here, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah. Bye bye.